Welcome back to the True Dad Show, everyone. Hope everyone had a great week. So as you can see, I am the only host this week. Yes, I fired Deb. No, I didn't. Actually, Deb will be my guest today. Ooh, that's going to be quite a bit different. But before I go into it, I want to ask you, have you ever had like a crazy moment that you don't know where it came from and you were like, I'm doing something that I can't do, don't know how to do it really, but I'm doing it. I had this moment like after my dad passed, it was just a few months, maybe I was still, affected a bit, but I read a friend on Facebook posted that she was doing a triathlon to raise funds for the Lymphoma Society for her daughter, because her daughter had lymphoma. And she was just like, I'm going to do an Olympic triathlon in Hawaii. I was sitting on my bed, on my computer, and I just wrote, I'm going with you. My husband at the time, who was sitting downstairs, saw the post and he was like coming upstairs, like, what? You're going to Hawaii? I'm like, yeah. So anyway, long story short, we started a journey of training. We trained basically 12 hours a week for 20 weeks. We were so in shape after and went on to do the triathlon in Hawaii. We raised a lot of funds, and then I did it a few years after as well. It was so empowering and amazing. But those kind of like spontaneous decisions sometimes are needed, because if we would really stop and think about everything that it takes, our human brain would be like, no, you're crazy, go sit down and have an ice cream cup. But anyway, so Deb was, well, as of you might know by now if you've been listening to our podcast regularly, Deb has those visions. She has visions. And it's funny because I just finished watching the second season of a good series. If you haven't watched it yet, it's called Manifest. The whole series is based on callings. They have callings and they end up doing a bunch of stuff because of the callings. Well, I have a real manifest girl in my life. Her name is Deborah Drummond. She has those callings and then she makes crazy decisions and then she jumps in and she goes and do it. So I will bring on my guests for today, Corinne, Allan, and Deborah Drummond. Ladies, how are you doing?
Well, thank you for having me on your show.
My pleasure. You can come back whenever you want. How are you, Corinne?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, okay. So I didn't say anything about Deb's calling, Deb's vision, but Corinne has known Deb for years as well. So she is used to those visions as well.
Yes.
But Deb, what was that vision?
Oh my gosh. Well, I have to say, when I have these visions, it catches on to people, because now Caroline does the same thing to me and she throws stuff at me and all of a sudden we're doing a book launch in 4 weeks and I'm like, we're what? I had a vision. It's an excuse now. She knows that I can't argue it. And me and Corinne have been doing vision questing for a long time in the world of. But no, really, honestly, I was just walking across the bridge and I was actually heading over to go meet my girlfriend Tammy to go for a walk, and it was gorgeous and beautiful and sunny out. And I stopped in the middle of the bridge and just had this, wow, it's so beautiful. I'm having such a good day. And it was like that perfect moment. And then,
meanwhile, the cars were probably like, ladies, don't jump. Oh, sorry, continue.
I had an epiphany and I heard the words, it's time. And those words, instantly, I had a knowingness that it meant that I was supposed to do another marathon. And because I had done a marathon 17 years before, 16 and 15 years before, and gave the money to a charity, I instantly just went into, so, okay, I'm going to do this marathon. And I was kind of freaked out. I'm like, look, I'm mid-50s. Clearly, we've come out of a indoor time, still kind of there. And let's just say I wasn't the person that was, working out 8 hours a day because I had so much more time. My life went opposite. So not in the shape that I would want to have that epiphany. But anyways, long story short, decided to do a long walk, and it soon enough turned into, now myself and Corinne are flying from Vancouver, Canada to Dublin in a year's time. And we're letting people watch the whole journey. And we're going to walk 290K from Dublin to the Galway girl, and then down to the Cliffs of Moher. And maybe we're just going to jump, who knows?
That's crazy. That's crazy. And if any of you wonder why I'm not part of that project, it's because they wanted to do women in their 50s. And unfortunately, I'm not there yet. So
Anyways.
Corinne, welcome to our show. Corinne,
Hi.
talk to me a bit about you. Who is Corinne? What's your background? And why would you say yes to that?
Okay. Who am I? I am probably one of Deb's craziest friends. I am a single mom. I am 52, so yes, but you could still come. You don't have to be 50. I was a police officer with the Vancouver Police Department for 29 and a half years. I've been retired for just over a year now. And so when Deb and I we've always talked about travel. We've always talked about doing stuff. We're both Celts, love the Celtic land. I'm Scottish, she's Irish. Yes, we do get along quite well, actually. So when she brought up doing this, and she brought up doing it for a charity, raising money for a charity, like I worked in community service for 29 and a half years. I love it. Doing something for a purpose is amazing. And just the experience, like I love Ireland, I've been there, but to do something like this in a foreign country for a purpose for an individual I may never ever meet, but the associations, she said so, it's music, it's aligned with the healing, the everything. And Deb and I talk about music all the time. And so being able to have a crazy friend, put it to me and go, yeah, you know what? It kind of resonates with me and it's going to be fun. And holy shit, we're really going to do this. It's going to be 8 hours of walking a day for about 8 to 10 days, depending on how it goes. So yeah, it's kind of cool. So the inner crazy in me loves it. And the community person in me loves it even more. So I just like the thought of giving back. So.
Well, first of all, thank you for your services. You say that as a little thing that you were a police officer for 29 and a half years, but clearly that's dedicating your life to bettering other one's lives. So thank you for that. Second of all, it's probably the first podcast that we'll have to put a bleep in somewhere. So we'll have to find how to put in that function. I have no idea, as we don't edit our podcast. But anyway, I'm just joking here. Well, half joking, but so as you mentioned, you guys are doing that for the organizations. She said so. So Deb, can you tell us a bit about that organization? And just before I give you the stage, it's funny because I was listening to Mel Robbins. There's this beautiful series of lecture that Hay House did. And one of them, Mel Robbins, was really talking about music, how important it is in our life. And she was saying, every morning you should have your walk-in song, the song that, you get up out of bed and you put your song and you're like, let's say she's on fire. I would see that for you guys, like just getting up, like. So first, what's your go-to song? And second, why did you guys choose She Said So?
Wow. I totally agree with Mel. And I think that most people that know me or friends or family or whatever they follow, I'm always putting music up on my Facebook because for me, it's been a huge healer, right? Lots of stuff that I've had to recover, overcome, rework, reframe in my life. And music has been a huge, powerful healer for that. And then also just, I had a healing studio where we did massage for 27 years and people used to come in, Corinne used to come in. That's how we partly how we met. And music was such a conductor for me, able to people to let go, to let the healing happen. And then it's also a motivator. And, music's a big part of that. So I totally agree with her. The songs that the playlist, and we talked about the playlist yesterday. Obviously this organization called She Said So is an organization that supports women in the music industry. Right. And so it funds people. So it actually gives money and you can actually join She Said So for free. like, right? They're really needing a lot of support because obviously things have been really kind of funky that way. So if people don't have, they don't turn anyone away, which I love. They have 18 chapters all over the world. You know, we're from Canada. There's one in Canada. There's actually one in your backyard there, Caroline, in Montreal. They're looking for Vancouver if someone wants to do that. They have 18 chapters of people that are giving support and resources and finances to anyone from working in a record store because music is your go-to, owning a record store, writing a song, being a songwriter, anything to do with music. Like, it doesn't just have to be, you know, singers or bands, anything that touches the tour person, the production person, to keep this industry alive and funded. And so that's where the money's going to go. And so for me, my go-to song changes, but if you know me a little bit, when it comes to something like this, I use my all-in music. So it's kind of like that all-in. So there's a movie that I watch. It's Creed. I love Creed. I love when he's up against the mirror and he's like, that's your opponent. You know, Ricky Balboa is like, that's who you're fighting against. You're not fighting against out there. You're fighting against out there, which means you're fighting against in here. And so when I need to fight against in here, because look, you guys, I mean, I'm pretty honest with myself, 55 years old, not in shape, ready to go do a walk of that nature. I'm going to have to really talk myself into doing some stuff I don't want to do, like exercise way more than I want to, or whatever, or not do things like I can't go out or I can't this. There's going to be some sacrifice involved. For me, I'm kind of an all in. So literally the soundtrack to Creed, this is going to date myself for sure, but I still love all the old Rocky music. I love that stuff. You know, I can't, you know, Stevie Nicks, like I love Fleetwood Mac all, you know, all the way around. And I mean, this morning I was listening to ELO, right? Electrolyte Orchestra. So I'm kind of all over the place, but really between Creed and Janis Joplin, I think it'll get me through. And a little U2.
And I know that you forgot in your list AC/DC because I did travel with you. So
yes, AC/DC is what I listen to before I go boxing. So before I go boxing, it's a live performance, and yeah,
well,
that's what
it makes me feel safe. You know, when we're in the hotel room, next time you play that, I'll be like, who is she gonna box now? But so that's a huge journey because, you know, we're kind of laughing here, but you're not gonna walk 8 to 10 hours a day for 8 to 10 days straight without getting your body used to it and having all the proper equipment and everything. And when I say equipment, I was laughing with you the other day because I walk quite a bit with my dogs, but the type of socks that you wear in your shoe can give you blisters or not. So there's a lot of preparation and thoughts that has to go in it. So Corinne, after telling us what's your motivating song, tell us a bit what you need. Like, what do you guys, how can we help you accomplish this journey? Because there's going to be the whole before preparation. And then, of course, there is the raising funds for this amazing organization. So tell us a bit, like, if we want to support you, how would we do that?
Oh, wow. Okay, so my song, when you said that, the first thing that came, do you remember the show Ally McBeal, female lawyer, the Dancing Baby song? That's my favorite. I love it. It makes me laugh. I dance around. But I'm like Deb. I'm a country girl, so I listen to the old country, not the new country. I still like the new country, but I don't know all the words like I did with the old stuff. Garth Brooks, oh my God, he's amazing. And then I do, because I won't pay for YouTube music, I do Spotify, and I just like old Celtic music. So all that old heavy bass stuff that just gets you right in the solar plexus. That I love that kind of stuff. So when I'm having to do stuff, that would be my go-to, and then start it off with a Dancing Baby. Hey, Spotify or Google, Dancing Baby, please. So what things, like you said, like I know that in my training, when I do stuff, it is truly the equipment that I'm using, right? Like with walking, you have to have the right pants or shorts, or the right shoes, the right socks. We're women, the right bra, right outerwear. Like I just went, we live in Vancouver. it rains all winter. So that kind of stuff. I've got a good friend who used to do like the 50-mile races, and she'd talk about all of her nutrition and the nutritional substances, and how she would have to, you know, make sure that she would go see her physiotherapist because your body gets exhausted. So that kind of like the knowledge and the information on how to keep your body healthy and alive so you could do this training. Because we're not going to go out and walk 8 hours tomorrow, but we have to train up to that, which is very daunting. So that brain thing and Deb's ACDC and my dancing baby are going to come in, let me tell you. And like nutritions, like nutritional supplements, like what do you need? Seriously, what do you need to make your human body become a machine? Because that's what it's going to have to be, to get one foot in front of the other to complete this journey to, you know, support somebody in a charity. Like it's crazy. So yeah, the knowledge and the types of food and equipment and support that we, you know, it just, the knowledge is first, and then actually obtaining all of that stuff so that we stay healthy, so we can do this, so it's successful, so that somebody at the other end that I don't know will be able to live their dream. So
Well, aren't you lucky that you're going with a health freak? It's funny you
Yes.
said that. You said
yes.
that. I just saw, like, after at the end of your walk, it's going to be the dancing baby, like rocking on ACDC, because that's how it's going to merge. But, so yes, you guys have, you know, you will need all the support and preparation. I know that there's going to be a huge media social campaign that I'm sure I'm going to help with this. But Deb, tell us a bit, you know, if we want to push it a bit more and support you financially, sponsorships, social media, what are you guys looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, you know, it takes a village, right? It takes a village. And so there's going to be some fundamentals. I mean, you know, it's an event and it's a cool idea and it's a crazy idea, but there's some fundamentals to make this happen. And, you know, you guys know I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years. I mean, that's why we're on here, right? And so any opportunity I have to let my fellow person in business be able to tap in, we're doing this for a year. We're willing to let you guys into our world, bird's eye view, what it's like to do it, not do it, exercise, what we're eating, what we're this, what we're that, everything to do with inspiration. You're going to probably see lots of music. And so there's an opportunity for businesses, you know, an entrepreneur, you know, if you've got a product or a service that you think aligns with the music industry, the, you know, two women walking, the single parent, the inspiration, the motivation that you can do it. If you're an author, I mean, anything around, if you're an entrepreneur, small, middle, or large organization that you think, wow, you know, let's face it, we're going to be needing flights. You know, there's going to be flights, there's going to be travel, there's going to have to be 2 vehicles travel along. One's going to be social media. We're looking for a social media company, a PR firm, lodging, food, all of the things that you think it would take to be able to get that. I mean, you talked about socks. When you said socks, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right. The proper training gear. I mean, you think about proper training gear and you're in Vancouver, you think of a rain jacket. You don't think of socks, right? I mean, I've done a couple of marathons before. I know we're going to need the proper foot gear. So anything around that. And then like Corinne said, people taking care of our bodies so we can continue on. Not only from information, but, you know, that health practitioner aspect of it, those health, that part of it, that's all part of it. And, you know, it's 287K. I was saying to people, take a look at it like a walkathon. If this is something that you want to help and donate and support, please, we're happy to take your donations. We're going to be creating a way for people to donate. Right now, you can just contact us and we'll put you in the right direction. If you're a business and you see a way of being able to tap in, and this can help you elevate what you're doing in your business, hey, let's have a conversation, right? Because we're open to that. And we just want to bridge gaps, really. So yeah, basically by sponsoring things that we need to get to put this into place, either financially or supplying that, and or donating financially to the event, because our goal is at least a minimum 25,000 to go to She Said So, right? Because then they can really do something with that. There's 18 chapters. There's a lot of people to help. It's been a pretty funky time, right? And everyone's hurting a little bit. And so when you got 18 chapters in 18 countries, that's a lot of a little bits. And so the more we raise, the more we're able to go strong and solid and get our stuff handled and then bang on for them. Yeah.
So knowing them, I know that means she's going to raise 250,000. They will raise, sorry, Corinne, you both are a team. They will raise $250,000, and that will become an annual event. So anyway, before we go this far, there is a lot of logistics. There is a lot of resources needed, and it's all for an amazing cause. So just remember, you heard this great project when it's all over the place. You heard from it exclusively on the True Dat Show. But also, if you have a podcast, or if you have a TV show or a radio show or a newsletter, please contact us, Deb and Caroline at gmail.com, and I will put you in touch with Deborah and Corinne, and that will actually help spread the word. I have to say that at first, when Deb said music, I was just like, music? It's kind of a weird thing, because when we think music, we think about those celebrities that are making millions. But let's be honest, these are 0.02% of the population. The rest is, struggling to make music. But when I stopped and really thought about it, music is probably, after smell, is probably the most powerful thing for your emotions, your healing, your inspiration. Like, look at anyone who works out, or anyone who runs, or anyone who needs a kick. They do it with music in their ears, because it's a whole process. Like, I'm not going to get into how the brain processes everything, but music is so important. I don't know about you, but when you hear an old Christmas song, brings you back right to when you were 6 and you were unwrapping your gift. Like, music makes you travel in time and everywhere, and it's really one of the biggest connector ever. Like, it goes beyond language, it goes beyond culture and beyond religion, beyond anything. It's really like, music is so powerful. So obviously, I will stop questioning Deb's decision, because they're always smart. So mark the date today that I said that, and it's recorded, so I don't have to say it ever again. But it's an amazing project. And in closing of the show, we will keep that short for today. Corinne, do you have any last words to say, or?
I think the only thing I would say is, being retired, I'm now like looking and experiencing my firsts, right? Because I was so busy before. It is so like the bucket list I never knew I had. Like the other day, great big huge 5-ton truck with those elevators on the back to lift their product up and down. There was a guy, and I went, "Can I ride on that with you?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I went, "Okay." I said, "This is a bucket list that I never knew I had." So those kind of things. And this is a huge bucket list I never knew I had until Deb. Giving back to the community. She said so to some unknown artists out there, giving them a chance, experiencing the world, experiencing the connectivity. It's phenomenal. I can't actually ever say that I ever thought I would do this, because this is so not me, but it is now going to become me. So thank you, Deb, and the partnership that we have, and hopefully, Caroline, you'll be along the way helping us stay normal-ish.
Well, you will need some youngsters, to keep you hip. No, but I'm super happy for you, Corinne, that, you did a full career, and now you're retiring, and basically you're just starting your start. And I'm really happy for you that you choose to do it this way. And Deb, well, I know that, this is a huge undertaking, and it's a crazy project, but this is not new for you, because it's basically your life. But I will leave you the last words, because even if you're a guest today, people, Deb likes to have the last words. So I will thank you all for being on, and I will leave the last words to Deborah Drummond.
Oh, wow. Well, you know what? Even for me, thank you, Caroline, and thank you, Corinne. Even for me, this is a big one. This is a big one, because I start businesses or say yes to some of Caroline's crazy ideas, or whatever it is, and she can't say anything because I have the last word. So whatever it is, I say yes to. I don't say yes to everything, first of all, by the way, people, but this is a big one for me, because it kind of, even me, I'm like, really, this idea, and it's gone to this, like, really is there's this much validity to it. And it hasn't, you know, we know that things don't necessarily go like this. And then really making that decision, like, I'm going to have to take time away from friendships. I'm going to have to take time away from other things. I'm going to have to add a couple of extra hours onto my day. Where can I layer doing my meetings for my work? I'm self-employed. I still have a child. I still have bills. I still have all of that. This is not just, oh, hey, throw it onto you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in my life and a lot of people that are depending on me in that life. And so I'm trying to find the moments in my life to make this work and do a lot of layering. So I'm doing a lot of juggling right now to make it happen. And so it's a little daunting, just transparent, a little daunting. I'm sure once I get into it, but you know, like I said, this is where we grow as people. So this is a big one for me. I have to say, probably what's keeping me in the game is I think this is really legacy for me with my kids, which is always what keeps me in the game. And Caroline, don't kid yourself, Caroline's on that plane and that lady is going to Dublin and she is going to social media the heck out of us and probably have more fun interviewing the coolest people along the way. I mean, I have this amazing vision of us finally getting there with enough, you know, hey, social media people, jump on this, and getting there and having as many musicians along the road. And Caroline, you're going to get to interview them. And, you know, me and Corinne are just going, oh, hi, Bono. Hey, Edge, you know, oh, look, there's, you know, all these, you know, wonderful people that you're going to get to hang out with. So, yeah, actually, now that I think it, maybe this is going to be really good for you. But anyways, we're going to have lots of really great experiences, and I'm nervous, but excited. I'm nervous, but excited. So,
well, thank you, ladies, for doing this. You know, it's a huge, like I said, it's a huge undertaking, but it's really needed as well. So thank you. And there you go, Deb. I just stole the last word because I'm the host today. So have a good one, everyone. And if ever you want to appear on our podcast, please contact us if you have something you want to share with the world. Whether it be business-wise or a crazy idea like these ladies, just contact us. We always welcome new ideas and new people to the podcast. And stay tuned. As many of you know, there's a beautiful entrepreneur planner launching at the beginning of October, and a book, 20 Powerful Women in Network Marketing, Volume 2, also launching October 1st. So of course, we will keep you updated with all of that. But contact us if you have any comments or suggestions. Thank you.